Have you ever tried to clean a grave marker? If you have, you were probably doing damage without realizing it. And if you have family buried anywhere, this matters. It mattered to me the moment I understood what was at stake. The stone survived more than 100 years, and it could be destroyed in less time it takes to watch this video. Today, I'm here with people who do this for a living, and I've been trusted not to be the person who finishes it off. Most damage like this doesn't happen on purpose. It happens with things like bleach and household cleaners, because once a name is gone, there is no second try. And by the end of this, you will know how people accidentally erase history and how to make sure you never do. Today I'm learning how to clean a historic headstone. Not to make it shiny, not to make it look new, but to stop a name from disappearing. Doing this wrong causes permanent damage. By the end of this, you will see what careful preservation actually looks like. And you will know exactly what never to do. This episode only exists because Aaron and Josh reached out and invited me into their work. That kind of trust matters, and Oak Hill Cemetery gave us permission to be here and to do this work. This is not a walkthrough, this is supervised preservation. When someone invites you into work like this, you do not just show up with the camera, you show up ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to do the work. I was excited, but I was also aware that excitement can be dangerous here. This was not about content, this was about care, and I think that comes from where I grew up. In Germany, names are treated like something you borrow, not something you own. If you damage one, you do not get a second chance to fix it. And care has rules. We are at Oak Hill Cemetery in Birmingham, Alabama. This place opened the same year the city did. And for generations, many of the people who built Birmingham were buried here. So when you walk through Oak Hill, you're not walking through the past. You're walking through what is left. These headstones belong to George and Susan Lunsford. In 1887, they built one of Birmingham's first luxury hotels. 5 stories tall, fireplaces in the rooms, dining space for 100 people, in a brand new city that mattered. George dies in 1893, Susan keeps the hotel running with their son. It later becomes Birmingham's first medical college. They helped shape a city they would never live to see finished. The building is gone. This is what remains.
Then after cleaning and we're done, I usually go home and I start to dig into the archives, into newspapers, and learn more about the person that we've had the privilege to serve that day.
This is what most people never realize. Names do not disappear because someone vandalizes them. They disappear because someone tries to clean them.
Don't believe everything you see on social media. So this is not the place for bleach. Anything that's under your kitchen cabinet, if it's not Dawn dish soap, don't bring it into the cemetery.
Good intentions erase history faster than time ever could. If you remember nothing else from this episode, remember this. Never use household cleaners. Never clean a dry stone. Before you clean anything, you check if it's even safe to touch.
After you've obtained permission, look out for you. Okay, so are you going to be working under an unhealthy looking tree branch on a windy day like this? There are random holes in the ground. There are fire ant hills. So always look out for your safety, the area around the stone you're going to be cleaning.
If the stone moves, you stop. If the ground is unstable, you stop. Josh and Aaron do this work all the time. Today they trusted me to learn alongside them.
Once you have done that, you're going to evaluate your stone. You want to touch it, see if it moves. You're looking for things on, especially on marble stones, like called sugaring, and we'll look at an example of that soon. That's a type of damage you really can't put a brush on.
This was the moment it became real. I was touching something that could not be replaced. And I'll be honest, where I'm from, touching something old usually comes with a long pause. And this felt like one of those moments. And this is the part where you slow down too. This part is not exciting, but this is the difference between preservation and destruction.
And you do everything in your power before you start work on any of these stones. But there's always going to be something that you can't foresee. And when that happens, we stop our work. We report directly to the director.
The first thing that goes on the stone is not a brush. It is a biological cleaner.
We're going to spray it down with this agent, and we're going to leave it for 15 minutes. And we're just going to let some of that surface growth start to die. You're going to see a color change after we spray. That's completely expected. It is normal.
So when the color changed, I didn't feel relief at all. I felt fear. Because if this was wrong, there is no undo button. This is not something you rush. Everything we use is softer than the stone.
And then after 15 minutes, we will come back, apply water to the stone, and then we will start to scrub. You never ever want to touch a dry stone, and you never want to scrape a dry stone, because this is full of fungal spores, algae, bacteria, and what you're doing if this is dry and you scrape it is you're aerosolizing it and breathing that in.
Good times. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yeah.
You're saying it's a good time.
Protect yourself. I'm going to give this over to you and let you add as you go.
Oh, the water?
Yep. You're doing this work.
That's right.
And some of this, it won't scrape off. It'll become more like a slick algae, and you don't have to worry about it. Our chemicals are going to take care of that.
Okay.
Just do what you can.
Recommend with your cleaning hand because your knuckles will scrape.
Yes. And you're just going to kind of go in circles.
So just go and...
Yep.
All right.
This was the moment to actually start, to put my hands on it. And I'll be honest, I was nervous. I'd never done this before. I didn't come in with experience. And they still trusted me with it.
We actually recently had a piece of marble come off of a huge monument we were cleaning. And when that happens, we stop our work.
There's a moment where you stop and reassess. Because sometimes the right move is doing nothing. You doing this work. In that moment, I realized the most dangerous thing here was confidence. That pause matters more than any tool. I kept expecting someone to say stop. But instead, they kept saying, "You're fine, keep going." That trust weighed heavier than the brush. The rule is simple. You want the tool to wear out, never the stone. That letter has not been readable in a very long time. It's really looking good. And that was the first time I really exhaled.
I think this is the first thing I've seen you clean in years.
I walked right into that one. What can you do? So I kept asking questions. Then the letters started to appear. Letters that hadn't been seen in years. And that feeling, that was real.
Oh, that's looking really good. Look at the top. That's awesome. We say their names. We make sure to speak their names in remembrance. You've always heard that if you speak someone's name, they'll never be forgotten. Over several months, they will continue to work once they're activated. And if you come back 6 to 9 months later and look at that stone, it's going to be gleaming white.
If you speak someone's name, they'll never be forgotten. That really stayed with me. This is the same headstone. This is 3 months after we finished the work. We did not clean it again. We did not touch it. It's simply what careful preservation looks like over time. When we started, I said this was not about making something look new. It was about stopping a name from disappearing. And this is what it looks like. Growing up, I heard a lot of conversation about what happens when people stop paying attention to history. This is a small example of the opposite. This is why episodes like this do not happen on a single afternoon. Some stones need time. Some results only show up after you leave. At the beginning of this, I said once a name is gone, there is no second try. This time the name stayed. And now you know how to make sure others do too. Oak Hill is full of names like this. Some still readable, some already fading, and some will disappear if no one slows down. If you know someone who cleans family graves, please send them this. Not to scare them, to protect the stone. This is one name. There are thousands like it. If quiet, fragile history matters to you, this is what we do here. And if I am invited to help protect it, I will show up. You're welcome to stay. I'm William. I'm a German exploring Alabama history. Sometimes that means I mispronounce a name. But I always try to get the story right. If there was something here you didn't know before today, let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see you next time when we explore history.